Welcome to the live stream on emailing reports in Sage Intacct Construction versus Sage 300 CRE. So let's start with Sage Intacct. So there are a few different ways to email reports out of Sage Intacct. You can do a schedule. You can email the report on the top of the reports, and you can do a few other things as well. So I'm going to jump into the report center here and show you how to schedule a report to go out on a regular basis. So let's say I want this balance sheet detail to go out on a regular basis. I'm in my report center. I'm going to come over here to more actions, and I'm going to edit the schedule. Okay, so we're going to pick a start date here. So we want to start it as of today. And we could do never ends after a number of occurrences. If you want to do it monthly for the next whole month, you could do something like monthly here. And every 1 month. And you could do 12 for the next 12 months. Okay. So you can do different things here with delivery options. You can have an email to yourself or to someone else or to more than one person. You can also put a subject in here and a message. You can do things such as storing the report in Intacct. Okay, so I'll show you where that's at in a second. And you can also store it in your cloud. If you have, for example, your OneDrive, your Google Drive, and your different options here. So you could set all this up to store in your cloud database area, cloud storage, okay? So if you store it in Intacct, where you're gonna go once this processes is into a different section here. Okay, so we're gonna go to the report center, and there's a view stored reports blue clickable link right here. And you can get to it on different areas. So if you go to My Reports, you can also see it here on this tab as well, on each of the specific sections. Okay, so I'm on the All Reports tab, and if I click View Stored Reports, you can see the balance sheet detail that I just processed. If you hit HTML, you can see the stored report here. Okay, now note that when you set up your reports to be scheduled, you can do different, you don't have to do HTML. You could do different things such as Excel, PDF. So if I do store in Intacct here again, you can do HTML, CSV, Excel, and like a printable version. So probably like a PDF, okay? So just wanted to point that out there. So really nice scheduling options in Intacct to do your various financial reports. Got all these other reports as well that you can work with and schedule with the more actions over here. Okay, so let's pull up a report actually and just look at the report on the screen, and then we're going to look at how you can email it out right out of here. Okay, so let's say you get a request from someone, you want to email it either to yourself or to them. You can email it right out of Intacct right up here at the top. Okay, so you can type someone's email address here. You can use a comma to separate it. Oops. For example, okay? You can make this box bigger too when you see that square like that, okay? So you can put a bunch of different emails in here, CC yourself, subject. You can change the type as well to what you'd like it to be sent as, and put a message in the email as well, okay? Okay, also in the report center, you can set up report groups. So if I want to group my balance sheet, my income statement, my cash flow statement, let's say, into a specific group, I can use the scheduling here to do the same thing. Okay, so you can send out that PDF, that Excel file, to email to your cloud or to Intacct in your stored reports automatically, just like a regular report as well. Okay, now let's say that I'm in an application and I'm pulling up a report, or I already have a report pulled up. And I'm like, this would be nice to have this sent to me, every week. For example, I can memorize this report. And good tip here, you want to name it the same as the memorized report, the same as the report over here. I think it's already memorized, so we'll name it something a little bit different. Okay, so once you memorize it, it's going to pull the screen up and you're going to schedule it from right here. Okay, and then you have the same parameters and screen as the other area, or the other in the report center when I was showing you. Okay, so many different ways to start the scheduling process in here if you want to automatically schedule, or if you want to run the report and store it on the fly. You can also do the process and store here just as a one-time store in Intacct or store in the cloud. Okay, so if you don't see your schedule button or an email button, hit the memorize button, and then you'll be able to schedule that report. Okay, but a good place to start would be at your report center and checking your scheduled reports that are already out there, that you've already created, to make sure that you don't already have that going, and then schedule your report either from the application or from the report menu here. Okay, now let's flip over to Sage 300. So first thing you need to do in Sage 300 is in one of the modules, or under common tasks here, you want to go to tools options. Okay, so I'm in GL right now, so I'm going to open up tools options and I'm going to go to mail settings. So working with your IT provider or your IT person, you need to set up your SMTP settings here, and this will be your default sender for your reports. Okay, so this needs to be set up. In Intacct, you don't really need to do this. It's a simple, you've set your user up and you don't need to put all these settings in here. Okay, in Intacct. So difference there. So when I do try to run a report here and do an email out of 300, just do a simple one here. I'm going to use the send button right here. Okay, so when I hit send, it's going to pull up a window. It takes a minute. Okay, and you can change the default from person. You can pick the to person, your customers or vendors or anyone else you set up as a contact in address book, using the binoculars there. If you don't have the contact in the system, you need to go to the address book and add that contact in. Okay, so you can't really add it on the fly on this contact list. Okay, like you kind of can in Intacct in a lot of those areas. So just a difference there. Or you can hit email here and you can click that arrow and type in an email address. Okay, you could put a subject and a message here. You can add more attachments from your computer if you want. If you've got some more out there somewhere, and hit the send button. Okay. So limited what you can do in 300 as far as you can't really schedule in Sage 300. You can do some things with the My Assistant program as far as setting up automatic reports to be emailed out and such. But that is an additional cost. I'll show that here briefly in order to get that My Assistant installed, up and running, and purchased for licensing. Okay, so that's taken a minute to pull up. Okay, so for example, they've got a bunch of tasks in here already set up, but you could do like your AP invoice register, set that on a schedule using My Assistant. Okay, but you have to do this outside of Sage 300, and it's not native inside of Sage 300. Okay, so I'm just going to hit next and go to your different options, but the schedule right here on the schedule, let me go back one. Right here, you can do on demand, on a schedule, and set your different frequencies and such right here. Okay. So again, native and intact with the scheduling, you kind of have to use that separate, My Assistant program to do it with Sage 300. Okay, so that's the general differences in emailing reports in Sage Intacct and Sage 300.